Hello, beautiful souls. Today, I have a very special guest on with me. She is my best friend from college. Her name is Jordan, and her and I are going to talk about a very crazy experience her and I had together that I think is super relevant to this audience and things such as spiritual awakening. I'm going to we're going to introduce you to her in a minute, kind of talk about how her and I know each other. It feels very spirit led too. Like there's some kind of funny details and how we met and everything like that. But yeah, so basically, just the rundown of what we're gonna discuss is, it's, I just don't think a lot of people out there talk enough about what a spiritual awakening actually looks like in practice. I think a lot of us have heard of spiritual awakenings and they seem like this really fun, like airy, light thing. And there's actually a lot of heaviness to it that I think we need to talk about. And Jordan and I went through an experience that is very much that. We're going to talk about what it looks like when you don't awaken right away and your trigger event is just something that takes time for you to process. So we'll talk about the trigger event and what that is that brings you into this beautiful journey of enlightenment, we'll call it. And then, yeah, with that, when something big happens in your life, again, that trigger event, something that should wake you up, and instead you just kind of shut down and push it away for a while. That is something we're going to talk about too. I believe I have gone through two spiritual awakenings actually in my life. Like the first one, I kind of pushed away, and the second one, I was like, oh, okay, I'm more mature and can handle this. So, if wherever you're at in your journey, you are not alone. Let's see. So, Jordan and I had this moment in college happen, and we shouldn't be alive from it, basically. It's like the craziest
Literally.
thing. We're going to talk about that. So, Jordan, I just want to give you a second to introduce yourself. And we'll talk a little bit about how we met, how long we've been friends for, and then we're gonna transition into this crazy, or I'll talk a little bit about what a spiritual awakening is by definition, and then our version of that and what we went through, so that hopefully it's a little bit more relatable. But go ahead and tell the audience all about yourself.
Hey, friends. So I'm Jordan, and I guess, okay, if I give you the spiel of who I am a mental health therapist. I work with the youths, so they say, but
The
no, I
very
work with
best, by the way, not even the best.
oh,
I have been told
well, I
this from other
appreciate
people,
that.
so yes.
Oh, I appreciate that. But I work with like adolescents. I mean, we've got some adults in there, but mostly just kids and teens. I live in Nebraska where Audra and I met, but yeah, we're holding down the fort here, cat mom, book lady, all that good stuff. So
I love it so much. I want to talk about like how funny it is too, because Jordan, you are one of those people. Well, actually, it wasn't like necessarily like a love at first sight, but there was like an energy there, right? Like we definitely kind of met. And
yes.
so Jordan and I were working this like I'll just say it, a really terrible retail job at a chain
Horrible.
store. At a chain store
Horrible.
no longer in business, okay? Right? Are they
Like
bankrupt,
just
totally gone?
I feel like yes.
Okay, okay. We'll just say we were
Yes.
called charmers. We won't go anything further
We
than
were the
that.
charmiest of charmers.
Literally that was like I've had a lot of jobs. That was the worst job I've ever had in my life.
And it was like the people that we worked with, I think, were the part that was bad about it.
Like the
I
management was
don't
really
know.
mean to me, I remember. Not
Mhm.
necessarily like the other like college people we worked with, but like management was like there was this one
Yes.
lady literally I told her my dream is to own a cupcake shop someday. She's like, "Well, that's kind of a fad, don't you think?" And I'm
What
like,
is wrong with you? Like,
she
okay,
was
thank
literally so rude
you.
to me. Yeah, I know. I was like going in and
Oh,
every day she's just kind of like, "You're a loser." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks for that." So
yeah. And then when we became friends, it was like, oh, separate Audra and Jordan. Like,
yeah,
what
I
are we?
know.
Is this daycare?
I
I
know.
didn't realize
It
that.
literally felt like daycare. It was the worst because like I had always been trusted so much by every teacher, every boss I'd ever had before. And then I got to that job and they were just kind of like, "You're a dumb teenager, no." So I was already kind of like, man, I don't know
Yeah.
about this job. But then like I remember the day they interviewed you and brought you in and you took the job right there. And they're like, "This is Jordan." And I remember it was almost like our energies when they met, there was just like a lot, right? Because we're both a lot.
Mhm. No, and I remember seeing you and I was like, I want to know this person.
Yes.
Like it was like there was a little bit of like an intimidated energy just because, I was brand new, walked in, like I think I accepted the
Totally.
job on the spot. And so you see you and it's like, ooh, like I'm intrigued, but I'm also like, I am but a tiny baby fish. Like
Oh, I know, literally same though. That's how I felt when I met you. It was just kind of one of those like again, I think it was we were like meant to meet each other. We wouldn't have had that
I
terrible job
agree.
together.
I
Right? Like worst
oh
job of my life and like here I meet my best friend forever, right? So,
literally.
yeah, like I was like I don't think I like her, but I don't know. And then literally I worked one shift with you and I was like, "No, she's the best. She is the best."
Isn't that like that's such a human thing though? Like we have these thoughts in our minds and those snap judgments like do I like
Mhm.
this person? No, they're giving me this vibe. And it's like we need to get out of our own way so that
Yes.
we can let like a beautiful connection in.
I think something that there is something to that where sometimes when you meet something that's such a big energy and like maybe it's so meant for you, it's foreign to your
Mhm.
nervous system, like you tend to push
So
it
true.
away at first. It's so funny. I don't know. I had no reason not to like you, literally. But
Same.
and I was
Yes.
just kind of like,
Like
I don't know about this one. I don't know. She's kind of, and I didn't even see full Jordan yet. It's like the whole,
I
the big.
that's
You
the
didn't see
thing
full Audra
too.
either. Yeah,
You've seen many versions of me, I will say.
yeah. You've
Hmm.
been with me through like every life phase.
Hmm.
Even, you predate, me meeting my husband, and I always joke
Yeah.
who in my household, my cat, my older cat Elsa, she is the longest living thing that's been with me in this whole house predating my
Hmm.
husband. And I'm like, no, Jordan predates Elsa,
Yeah.
like by a lot. Like,
I'm predating
yep,
y'all.
yep. So we both became cat ladies together in college. Like
Yes.
we had a lot of fun. So yeah, I ended up joining Jordan's sorority my sophomore year,
Hmm.
and that's when we kind of got a lot closer, you could say, because we just
Yeah.
had to be around each other so much more often.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was fun. But anyway, that's kind of like the time period then it kind of perfectly sets us up for like we just
Hmm.
finished our freshman year of college and we met that summer
Hmm.
and then we spent this goes up until spring break, right? Like is when
Yes.
everybody else was going to Padre and we were
Uh-huh.
like I don't remember why you didn't go, but my dad is really weird about spring break. Like he was basically like Liam Neeson's Taken movie. He's pretty sure
Sure.
that's
Sure.
going to happen to one of his girls. So we were not allowed to even go
No.
to like Kansas City down the road because he's like, nope,
Sure.
it's spring break. Nope, things happen on spring break.
I wonder what I guess I just had no interest in going to Padre. Like I sure we were like drinking and the college things, but I just had no like, oh, I really want to go to Padre and sleep on a
Amazing.
cot and like share a bed with four other people. Like no. I'm like, let's
Is
go to
that what
Foster
they
the
did? They
People.
shared one bed with
Oh,
four
I
people. Oh my God.
well, I mean, to save money, I know that there were some like situations,
Yeah,
but
I remember I
like,
went on a
let's
ski
go.
trip that it was bad enough I had to sleep on a bed in like a hallway.
It's a very
I'm like,
humbling
I know the things
experience.
that they do. Let's just put it this way. What you see on Instagram is hardly the reality of what people are doing.
That is very, very true. Ooh,
Yes,
yeah, no,
it's not
there's some
glamorous.
rough times to save $1 for
Yeah, I
sure.
know. Oh man, I know. I know. No, we definitely had a lot of fun. It was a good time. Like it was very, would you call it lighthearted up until this car accident happened?
Oh, so I just remember like because you're from way out west, and it's like I mean
Hmm.
a good drive. Like we took the whole day,
Hmm.
and it was like we were listening to our music because Audra and I are very like indie, alt kind of music
Yes.
gals, and so
Like
we're
think
like
the
consistently
1975. Like that was kind of our
yes.
anchor band at the time.
Yes, like literally going to foster the people on this trip. So
Yeah, yeah.
so
Oh
good.
God, yeah.
So
Foster.
we're vibing. We picked up her parents had us go to this like dog breeder and pick up their new
Yeah.
puppy. Like
Oh well,
we were
we'll get into that in
living.
a second.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
we'll we'll
Oh
do it
yeah.
all, yeah, because we.
So
I'm like I want to talk about like again what like a spiritual
Mhm.
awakening in theory looks like. But yeah, then
Yeah.
we'll talk about all the details. We're gonna start at the puppy though, so that's a good like place to put a pin on it because
Yeah.
that shouldn't have happened the way that it did. Try like and
Right?
if you're like confused listening right now, we'll get back to that. So anyway, so like I'm just gonna take a minute to segue into like what a spiritual awakening is, because if you're I've kind of talked about this before with an interview I had with a psychic medium named Jessica Rachel before. We talked about what a spiritual awakening is. It's kind of peppered throughout my podcast episodes, but this one I want to really tie a bow on it so that when I say spiritual awakening, you're like, heck yes, I know exactly what that means. I know what this moment
That's
is.
that.
So there's no confusion. So it's not just this one clean, peaceful moment. It's not like where you wake up and you are now like Buddha. You're like enlightened. You're like floating in your crisscross applesauce pose. It's not like that. It's a process where your old way of seeing yourself and your life, like how you used to be living, kind of like there's almost
Mhm.
like if you've gone through a spiritual awakening, there's definitely two versions of you. There's the one you are now post awakening, and then there's a version of you pre awakening where you're very like more 3D, we'll say, more like plugged
Mhm.
into these like kind of societal patterns and things
Mhm.
that the other people tell you should be. And then there's kind of like this point that happens, this trigger event. You go through a lot of stuff that's part of the awakening, and then you end up a better, whole, more aligned version of yourself on the other side.
Mhm.
So your life will break down and you'll get this deeper awareness that begins to take place. So, simply put, it's the shift of living on autopilot, like conditioning fear and identity,
Mhm.
to becoming
Mhm.
aware of your deeper truth and intuition and connection to something beyond just your ego and your human desire, like pleasing other people and like, doing things simply out of ego, if that makes sense. So,
Mhm.
um, there's a few steps to it. The very first thing that'll happen in a spiritual awakening is a disruption in your life of some kind or a trigger event. And it shakes your reality. This can be something like a loss, like somebody in your life that was very significant to you passes away and it kind
Mhm.
of shocks
Mhm.
you out of your system. It could be a breakup, maybe like a very serious relationship that really shakes you because it ends, a trauma or a near death experience. I hear near death experiences all the time. Having a baby is a trigger event for
Mhm.
some people. It's a
Yeah.
very kind of spiritual event where it's almost near death. If anybody that's had a baby could probably relate to that. It's like this crazy chaotic, I am totally out of control and I'm not able to like control this myself, right? So
Mhm.
it could also present in ways of like we're seeing this now in corporate America, like burnout or identity crisis, where you're like, what am I doing just on this hamster wheel? I'm not going to do this forever. And you kind of like hit your limit and you're done. Or even a sudden you wake up one day like this isn't my life anymore, feeling like something has just awakened in you. And that's what we're going to say cracks you open. It's the very first thing that will crack you open and make you susceptible to now going down the phase of the spiritual awakening. So you're going to then start questioning everything. Like, why do I feel like
Mhm.
this? Is this the life that I actually want? What's real and what was I taught? I talked about this in one of my first episodes, a funny thing of I heard on a podcast that really, I think, accelerated my spiritual awakening. And it's the dumbest thing, but of like, how many of you have been told like there's a proper way to load a dishwasher? And I'm like, yeah. And then like I
Mhm.
literally in that moment, I was like, oh my God, there is no proper way to do that, is there? Like
Mhm.
it's so
And it's
arbitrary.
yeah.
Do you have anything like that you like literally were like, why have I been doing it this way all this time? And you realized it wasn't actually your own belief?
I feel like it's so many things. Like, if we even think about, like, if we go by generations, the way that we were taught things, or like how you and I grew up in the Catholic religion, like, it's
Yes.
just, you are so conditioned of like, there is this one way of how to do it. And if you don't do it, you're bad. And
Yes.
it's like,
And I
what
think
are
that's
you
the Catholic
telling
coming through
me?
too. Like there's so much
Oh,
shame in that religion. I
yes.
think anybody who you don't even have to leave the church to like know that that's real.
And it's everything though. Like, you say the dishwasher, I'm thinking like how you interact with people, how you, like, do we keep quiet about certain things, do you just
Hmm.
kind of like sit there and take it? Like, it's so many things, and it's really really crazy. Like, I'm so glad we're talking about this, like just how you start to see things differently.
Hmm. Hmm. It completely. Like, I'm even thinking something as simple as when you talk about like how you look at people. Like how when you're like super super religious people will, I've heard this before, judge people with
Mhm.
tattoos.
Yeah.
And it's
And
like
I'm like tatted up, like, all right,
literally,
go for it.
I'm like, literally, what does that have anything to do with how I'm living my life? Like, when you start to like finally realize that like people with tattoos don't equivalate to anything. It's just them expressing their art
Yes.
themselves. Like, when you start to have those kinds of shifts after things have been beaten in your head for so long, and you're like, wait a minute, like tattooed people aren't evil. What the heck? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
it's one of those things, like, I like how it looks,
yes,
but just period. Like, and it's I could see somebody else like that's so tatted, and you're like, okay, love that for them, just not for me. And
totally.
that's
Well, I'm
fine with
like, you invested a lot of money in your body art. That's kind of how I see it now.
me.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, that was a lot of money. I
Yeah.
probably spent that at the spa in the course of my life, though. We all have our things, you know what I mean?
Or Diet Dr. Pepper for me. Either
Yeah.
one.
Oh, with inflation especially. Did you see they're like $12 a pack right now? Like for a
I
pack
always
of
get them on sale or I don't.
it is literally cheaper for me to go to 7-Eleven and get a fountain drink right now. So you bet.
Yes.
You bet I'm going.
Yes. Yes.
I am like low key, I'm like, it'll go back to like $6 a pack, right? I'm like, no, it won't, will it?
Like, please, like, will it? Like, please, just give it
And
to us.
Jordan and I are huge Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper fiends, in case
Yes.
any of you are wondering.
Tis the nectar of the gods.
I'm trying to get her to come visit me out in the Salt Lake City area, where if anyone listening from Utah, you'll know, you might not outside of Utah, but Swig, or any other dirty
Okay,
soda shop.
so we are going immediately. Like, you will pick me up from the airport and we will be going immediately.
Literally, Jordan, there is a Swig on every corner out here. It is like
Perfect.
it is it is the land of milk and honey, or Diet Coke and coconut cream, whatever you
Or,
want to
yes,
call it.
I'm here
It's
for
amazing. Yeah.
it.
So anyway, I okay, sidebar. I saw this, there's a lot of political memes swirling right now. I saw this fake AI image of like RFK Jr., the health secretary. He's
Yeah.
he's banning Diet Coke, and there was a flag. Obviously it's fake. It's fake, guys. He's not banning Diet Coke. Or I would burn
Yes.
something down.
Yes.
But it was really funny to see the comments. Everyone was just as enraged as I was. Like, there was a split second in me where I thought this was real, and I was like, over my dead body. I'm like,
You,
I know.
When it's those things that you read people on Reddit or wherever you get your stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I tried to cut Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper out. I don't feel any different." Like, thank
I know.
you,
I
thank you.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's an experience for me. It's not about just the caffeine, right? Like
Mhm.
there's like something very nostalgic about it to me. Like I grew up with a mom who didn't drink coffee. She drank Diet Coke, and like we always would joke like
Oh,
if we opened a can of Diet Coke, she had to take a sip off of it first and then it would taste better.
so good. I did
It's
not
just
know this
mom's
about
Diet Coke.
Amber.
Oh yeah, now so I was a barista, as you know, in college, and then now I've had
Mhm.
like my coffee journey, and I have my own espresso machine. My family, I think, took note that that's actually a great way to live your life, to have an espresso
Yeah.
machine and like know how to make your own lattes and stuff. So, yeah, she's now a cappuccino every morning kind of person. It's crazy. Yeah,
Oh, the growth.
I
Oh my
know, I know,
goodness.
but we're still doing a Diet Coke every day too, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Like again, out of my cold dead hands will you rip that out, and my mother too. So oh my god. Yeah, I'm like there's probably a million reasons I should cut it out of my life, but I'm like, you know what? I've quit drinking, not as long as you have, but I went 2 years. I decided to do a I'm not drinking anymore
Ooh.
kind of thing. Remember well, it like actually bled into a pregnancy, so it was kind of like
Yes.
kind of was like
It's
controlled for me. But
perfect.
it was over a year I hadn't been drinking and like stuff. I'm like, I'll cut that out. I'll cut out like
Mhm.
sugar. I'll cut out whatever. But I'm like, Diet Coke. I can't.
Never.
Never ever.
Never.
Um, so anyway, back from that, we know Diet Coke is not banned and we are all happy and good. So you'll again question everything. The next thing is going
Yes.
to be like this state of heightened awareness. It's almost like, I have some notes here that I've written, but I will say it's almost like you start to see like the glitches in the matrix a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
world kind of
Mhm.
feels a little programmed. It's weird. So you start to notice like patterns and signs and synchronicities. Like, why are the two people in the gas station right now dressed identically? Or like, You see
Yeah.
444 everywhere, or like 111, like triple digit numbers, the angel numbers, in like really funny places where you really feel like you shouldn't. And in a previous episode, or actually maybe I haven't done that yet. I know I broke it down in home numerology, but every triple
Mhm.
digit sequence actually does have a meaning to it. It's like
Mhm.
once you become more mature in your spiritual journey, you'll kind of start to read it as like a language of the universe, of like spirit trying to tell you
Yeah.
stuff, is what's interesting. It's not just, but the very first thing, you don't have to know what they mean. It's just kind of like you start to notice, like, why am I seeing all these triple digits everywhere? Or like, why am I seeing all these, signs, and deja vu starts to like really happen a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your intuition will start to get really, really loud where you're like, I don't know why I
Mhm.
know this, but I just do. And you just feel more sensitive, like emotionally and energetically. Like
Mhm.
you maybe just start to really process like decades of trauma for some people, and you're like,
Mhm.
why am I
Mhm.
crying all the time? It's like we chalk things up to hormone imbalance. I'm like, no, literally, sometimes like that is just
Yeah.
energy moving through you, right? You've pushed it down
Yeah.
for a long time. It has an opportunity to come out, so it's going to.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
or the feeling when things just feel like more meaningful for no reason, like you've watched the same movie 50 times and you
Ooh.
all of a sudden you watch it and you're like I've had that happen a lot, like well, in pregnancy especially.
Mhm.
But even outside of that, you're like, I have watched this movie so many times and I never put that together before now. And it kind of like moves you to tears. Like you'll kind of just start to notice that stuff more.
We we had this actually. We watched Forrest Gump, which if you know my partner, he loves Forrest. That's like his
Oh my
comfort
God.
movie.
It's
But
a good
we
one.
rewatched it. It is so good. And I was like, okay, I haven't watched it in, many years. We'll give it a go. Bald, bawled my eyes out. And it's like you just see things differently. You see how Forrest like interacts with people. It is crazy
Well, and
how
talk
it
about a
just is
very
different.
like Forrest Gump might not even, it's a really good example you bring up. He's a movie character. Like, do you ever notice how everything just goes his way every single time? And all he is just available for the experience. Like, that
Hmm.
is like the principles of manifestation at their core. Like, literally, all he
Yeah.
is just open to whatever. He doesn't force outcomes. He's just present
Hmm.
and he takes opportunities as they come and things just work out for him. And it's literally like
Yeah.
really what that movie is like showing you like how manifestation works when you take the control aspect out of it. You just like, I'm happy, I am grateful, and I just take
Hmm.
I receive things and I act on divine inspiration. And that's what he literally does the whole movie. Like all the right
Yeah.
people enter his life at the right time and give him all the stuff and he ends up like really good at the end. Like that's not coincidence. It's a very like it's that movie's
Hmm.
a really good metaphor for like true like spiritual enlightenment, you can say. He's not even
Yeah.
aware of it. This stuff works even if you're not aware of it, is what's really cool. So
Hmm. Yeah.
um
Yes.
but kind of continuing on that, you'll see again in this awakening journey, you'll see like emotional surfacing. So this is the part that people kind of don't expect because it's like really cool and glittery and angelic and you're like, oh, this is so fun. But then you'll start to see like old wounds coming up, things that you think you're like
Oh yeah.
over and they'll like,
Oh
oh
my
my God, I
goodness.
didn't process that. Ooh, that'll
Hmm.
happen. Your suppressed emotions rise. Like I think we know a lot of people in our lives that like push things down and think like that's
Hmm.
proper. And
Hmm.
that works for a time, guys. Don't get me wrong. It does, but that's
It will
still there.
always rear its head. Like it does not matter. It can be like we're pushing down and the cap just goes off.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, like you can be angry about something and would you rather, I guess, like deal with it in a micro sense 50 times or deal with it in a big way
Ooh.
one time? That's kind of your options.
It's a
Cuz
really good question. Yeah.
like I don't want to keep dealing with the same thing. And I think a lot of people think
Hmm.
like especially like where we're from in the Midwest, I think it's like don't cry, like tough it out, like rub some dirt in it. It's like sometimes you do need to
Literally.
cry. Like you do need to just like
Hmm.
so anyway, anything in your life where you've literally been told to like kind of push it down or you've just done that yourself for whatever conditioning reasons. Maybe you're a
Hmm.
boy and you were told boys don't cry. That stuff
Yeah.
will come up. So don't be surprised if that just you're like, I told this feeling to go away and here it is. It's like, well, it's here for a reason. Like literally everything presents
Yeah.
itself to you and it's ready to be released, right? So it's take advantage of it, right? Like
Yeah.
um there's a lot of anxiety, sadness, confusion, maybe like a depressive state you'll kind of go through. That's very,
Hmm.
very normal part of this process. So, Nothing new is wrong. And again, if it's what's already there is just coming up to be seen. It's coming up to just say, hello, I'm here. I am not serving you. Please get rid of me.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you'll go through is like an identity breakdown. So things you used to care about deeply, they just don't feel aligned anymore. You might just wake up and you're like, I literally don't care about my crazy social life like I did last weekend. Even you're just like, huh. When you just aren't the same person anymore, that's very normal that overnight you could feel differently waking up. And relationships might start to shift. Like you have
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's been your friend for a really long time. You might kind of start to notice, like, how is this serving me? In some cases, you
Mm-hmm.
might have been in like a toxic friendship, a long time, and you're just now waking up to that. Or in other ways, like I've had friendships kind of drift apart where neither one of us did anything wrong. It was just kind of like we both moved in very different directions and it was very peaceful, right? So it's just normal. It's like you don't have to hold on to relationships just because, like, why, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of
Yeah.
that? So which I'm just glad you and I are still friends all these years later. We seem to like grow
Two,
together in every stage, so it's like it's good.
the evolving together and the like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm really down, Audra's really up, or we switch and then we just like carry each. It's great.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, not always the case for every relationship. Like I
Yeah.
think
Yes.
I mean, I can think of so many people where they were there in my life for like a specific phase for me. And
Mm-hmm.
and I was probably doing the same thing for them and it's fine. We just moved on and it's like it's fine. Let it go. That's what we're saying.
Moral of the story.
Yeah, and moral of the story, let it go, let things go. But yeah, along with this identity breakdown, ultimately it's just like you're gonna feel like you don't really recognize yourself anymore. And again, it's like moving on, letting it go. Like who you can be different versions of yourself throughout your life, and that's completely fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I think it's easy to get attached to like, oh, I always used to be like this, so I need to be like this still. And then it's like, no, in fact, evolution is so good. It's so good for you to like
Mm-hmm.
always be evolving, right? Like as a soul, that's
Yeah.
literally why we come here. We don't want to be a cookie cutter like person. And you don't want to be who you were 20 years ago. Like the world changes and so should you. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
but this can leave some people feeling like they're like losing control of themselves, especially people that really don't like change. So, I think I just have to name it here. It's like you will change and the less you fight it, the easier this process
Mm-hmm.
becomes. So, um, then the next thing I'll talk about, just a few more phases of awakening, is the dark night phase. Not everybody goes through this, but dark night of the soul, if you've heard it that way. But a lot of people do go through this. I think what Jordan and I are going to talk about in our car accident story, I think that was the trigger of the dark night of the soul
Mm-hmm.
for me personally. It was
Oh,
like crazy.
same.
Oh, it's horrible. But you start to feel like really lost, disconnected, numb, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
depression. You're questioning your purpose. Like, what am I even doing with my life? What is all this?
Mm-hmm.
You want to escape coping mechanisms or just shut down
Yeah.
completely. And this is often where people actually start to think that they're going backwards, and you're actually not. Because like when you hit that rock bottom, it's actually a deep transformation. It's like a slingshot analogy. You kind of like have to pull back to
Mm-hmm.
like spring forward. That's what the dark night of the soul, like the purpose of it is to truly like break you down, strip you down to the most bare bones version of
Mm-hmm.
yourself so that you can rebuild from a better place. So um, speaking of rebuilding, that is the next phase. It's integration and rebuilding. So you start to make different choices with your life, acting as the new version of you. Your boundaries will start to shift. Like what you used to tolerate, you're not going to tolerate anymore, and you can stand more firm
Yeah.
in that. Even with people you never thought you could stand up to before, you'll start to do that. And just reconnect with yourself in a more grounded way in general. So less chaos and more clarity is kind of what we're going for here. And then finally, embodiment. This is the phase we all want to get to, is where you have completely embodied these new soul lessons, these new soul gifts, and or activated things in you, and you start to trust yourself more. You don't seek that outside validation like you once did. And you just live in alignment with your truth, what is best for you and you alone. And if you're living in integrity, it's not like it's going to be like sabotaging other people. It's just like truly
Mm-hmm.
what is good for you and what do you need to like be happy in this life, because that's what's important. Like you can't just live your life for everyone else but you, or like what's the point of that?
Yeah.
So um that's again, this is the stable version of awakening, is kind of the stuff I put us through and or took us through just now. And I think again, I think I had two awakenings because this one, I think spirit just wanted me to awaken a little faster than I was because we had our car accident in like 2019. And then it was like 4 years later, I went through that severe postpartum depression that was kind of like, oh, I feel like mentally I'm actually ready to like rebirth myself and like be.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
totally normal if your first trigger event doesn't totally do the trick. Like spirit is insistent. They will always come back and like say, hey, try again, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, spiritual awakenings, though, just all in all, they can be very ugly, soul bearing, and just they're not always immediate processes. So and you might not actually take to it right away. So again, spirit's
Mhm.
relentless though. So um all right. So that kind of gets us to what you and I went through. So
Woo!
I know. I know. So again, the context, it's like we're sophomores in college. We're going home for spring break. And yeah, you were saying about the puppy. Like, do you remember
Mhm.
like this? It was the weirdest thing. So, where I'm from in Nebraska, Jordan and I were going to go home to my hometown because she really wanted to see it. Like, everyone thinks it's so cute when they've never been there before. They're like, ooh, what a quaint town. So yeah, my parents had just gotten a new sheepdog puppy from a groomer, I think like in Kansas, and she met us in Lincoln. And I've never in my life experienced so much frustration trying to like meet up with somebody, right? Like,
Mhm.
how
Oh,
do you
it's
remember
like,
it?
baby, like, what are we doing? Like, we have places to be. I know you do as well, but like, let's make this happen.
Yes, she's like she literally she'd be like, "Oh, I'm at PetSmart," and we'd like go to PetSmart. She's like, "Oh, we just went to the park instead," and I'd be like, ugh. And then we go to the park she was just at. "Oh no, we went to a different park now." Like I'm not kidding. We're just chasing her all around Lincoln, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what are we doing?
Yeah,
What are
it
we
was
doing?"
ridiculous.
It was, and time is of the essence. It's a 7 hour drive from our college town, and it gets really dark at night, and I hate driving at night. And so I was like, it was like supposed to be. We got this dog at like 8 a.m. and we were on the road. It was probably like
Mhm.
oh my God, I don't know, like
Oh,
afternoon.
yeah. I think
Finally
like
got the
noon
puppy.
one. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So, it was just like chaotic. It kind of felt like I mean, everything was just kind of like breaking down. It took us forever. But I do
Mhm.
remember the apartment building I was in. We had the puppy. He just was going to be in the whole back seat. I was driving a
Mhm.
Volkswagen EOS at the time, that little hardtop convertible that we used to love to just drive through
Love.
campus with the top down with like so much music. It was great.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
but I do remember like specifically, and this will kind of like come into play later, that the way that the dog was sitting on the seat, he like it was one of those parking garages where you go down in like a spiral and like he'd fallen off the seat onto the floor.
And
And we
he
were like,
just
oh,
like,
poor baby.
meow.
Yeah, yeah. So we had like put your seat way back so he had something like brace against.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that like ended up kind of saving you, which was crazy.
Woo!
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
But
Just
anyway.
everything, like we rehash it and it's like everything had a purpose almost. Like
Mhm.
even if the outcome was literally not what we were expecting,
Right.
there is a reason why all of these things happened.
I mean, and like, who wants to go through a car accident? But again, it's like,
Mhm.
it was one of those things I just feel like had to happen to like something had to come down and like shake us awake. Like, get your life
Yeah.
together. Because I don't know
Yes.
about you. Like, I feel like I was going through some heaviness. Like, yes, it was kind of a
Mhm.
lighthearted year. Like, yeah, we're still kids. We were literally still teenagers. But
Mhm. Yeah.
maybe freshly 20, I don't know, somewhere in there. And I just remember though I was like just going through some heaviness. Like I did not have a good freshman year of college. It was a hard time for
Mhm.
me. My sophomore year was still just kind of like I didn't know who I was. I was trying to figure it out. But like what about you? Were you like having like kind of like do you feel like you were going through some stuff you needed to like wake up from?
Absolutely. I mean, I had this relationship that was like we'd break up one week, we'd get back together. He was very toxic. And I just was that you're in that
Right.
stage of life where it's like, I just am like tied to this person. I need to keep just, giving and taking. And it strips you so bare that like weren't making other good choices and maybe not being around the right people. And oh yeah, I was
Mhm.
definitely in that space, just grieving too. Like what could have been, what isn't, just all of these kind of things.
Absolutely. I actually, so I didn't know it at the time, but I had, and I'm not going to get into it, but I'd had like, I'll call it a sexual trauma happen to me that summer
Yeah.
prior. And, the way it went down though, I didn't actually know that like that's what had happened. My brain kind of just
Mm,
compartmentalized it in a different area. And, I was not okay, but I didn't know
yeah.
why. It took me, I was living in Denver in my like first job at post grad school before I had a therapist get through to me like, "Hey, this
Sure.
happened to you. Do you realize that?" And I was like, "No, I did." Like literally, I if someone didn't
Mhm.
just give me that perspective, I wouldn't have known. And then I was able to process it though. But like
Yeah.
I was like going through a really hard time because like it, but I couldn't put my finger on why. I was just like, I'm just so depressed and I don't know why. Like this
And
sucks, you know?
the brain, like where it protects us,
Hmm.
like, and that's what it is. It's quote protecting us from those moments, but it's actually like, is it, or is it like, are we pushing that down, and then we are so confused of what am I feeling, what am I doing?
Yeah, I mean like you'll respond whether or not you understand it. And it's like again, I was not at a point in my life to like really I wasn't mature enough to really like handle anything like that at that
Mm-hmm.
level. And like we're as you
It's
get older,
terrifying.
I know it's like it's crazy, but no, I mean it was all good. I mean it's not like it wasn't like a major thing. And I'm not just trying to like play it down. It's just it was enough though that like of something that had happened that it was like I just shut down, like my brain just
Yeah.
completely a part of it just quit working. And like I just
Yeah.
started like
Yes.
coping, right? Like or
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily actually the car accident, it got worse. But anyway, no, it was like I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just was like very depressed and like didn't know how to get a handle on it. And I didn't really feel like I had a lot of support either. Like I was going through um a long-term relationship breakup that I was just personally like it had happened a whole year prior and I was still struggling at that point. Like
Mm-hmm.
we must have been heavily energetically courted or something because like I just couldn't like
Yeah.
put it past me. I was so sad about that. So it was just like kind of a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, typical teenage girl stuff you reel from.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a big
Yes.
deal to you at the time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, yeah, here we are late getting on the road, which was, I
Mm-hmm.
do believe, divinely orchestrated, right? It was a crazy thing.
Gives me chills because it's like, why it was divinely orchestrated makes sense now,
Now
but
it
back
does.
then it's like, why? What,
Yeah,
like, why us? Why? What is this?
absolutely.
Mhm.
And so I remember, so if any of you have been to Western Nebraska before, like you'll understand just how dark it gets at night. Like we don't have
Mhm.
like street lights really. We don't have like, the highways
Mhm.
are just pitch black. Absolutely no light whatsoever. And the moon in particular was like not really out that night or something. Like it was just a weird
Mhm.
maybe it's
It
hiding
was
behind
it was
clouds.
eerie.
Eerie. I will never forget we were listening to an acoustic playlist of like pop hits. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, sweater weather,
Yeah,
like
that
just
was
all
what was
these.
playing the
Oh,
moment this
I
happened.
know.
So, we and I don't know, I'm interested like if you remember it differently because it's
Mhm.
like again in a millisecond you like have such different
Oh
experiences like
yeah.
what, but I do remember distinctly like we're going through the up and down of the sand hills. And by the
Mhm.
way, I'm gonna be attaching like photos of this aftermath of the car accident and everything
Yeah.
for everybody to
Yes.
see. So that's gonna be, you all can just see exactly what happened because it's so hard to wrap your mind around. But anyway, we're going up and down these crazy hills and there's like
Mhm.
drop offs on either side of the road, like crazy. Like if your car rolled off of it, you wouldn't make it. Like very
Yeah. Yes.
scary. No cell phone service part of town. We're like 20
None.
miles south of where I'm from and absolutely
Yep.
no civilization. um,
Yes.
do you, I feel like I'm making this up because it feels like such a strange detail. There are no like German vehicles like out where I'm from, like as far as like a BMW goes. Like there is
Yeah.
there's no BMWs or nice cars like that out where I'm from. And I remember about 5 minutes before this accident, this blacked out BMW sedan had like passed us going like 90 miles an hour. Do you remember that?
I honestly, I don't know if I remember that. I think because I had to pee so bad
Yeah,
that
I do
I
remember
was
you. It's all you were
focusing
talking
on
about.
like,
No gas
Okay,
stations.
deep breathing. I am like I'm trusting Audra because you knew these like roads the back of your hand like,
Yeah.
and I had so much trust in you and like, okay, my friend is taking me to her home, like this feels so special, like I'm putting it kind of all in her hands, like
Mm,
we're so close, we're like 30 minutes away from being there finally,
yeah,
and
literally. We've
I'm
driven
just
all day.
like, but it kind of gives me chills to hear you say that this foreign luxury vehicle drives by because
It was
when
so
we
out of
were,
place.
yeah,
So weird. I was like, oh
yeah,
my God, was it an alien? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I'm
right,
like,
like what is this?
it's
Uh-huh.
almost like did they go ahead and set this up? Because then it's like I even asked people, did you see the BMW? They're like, no, there was nobody else on this road. I'm like, am I crazy? Am I going crazy? I don't know. Maybe it was a drug deal.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on.
We will never
I
know, but
just
we can always
remember
think. Yeah.
I remember my brain was still chewing on that though. Like, what is this BMW doing out here? I have no idea. Like, it was so strange because it was like out in like auto gates and like barbed wire fences. Like there was nothing out there.
Hmm.
And so anyway, yeah, we're just driving through and I remember we pop up over a hill and I heard your voice just crack and you were like, Audra. And I was like,
Hmm.
and there was a big black Angus cow like right in the
Hmm.
middle of the road. But weirdly, my perspective being the driver, it was like time slowed down, like because time's just a
Yes.
concept, right? Now I know that, but
Hmm.
time slowed down and I remember I had like this like almost freeze frame. I look straight ahead. There's a cow straight ahead of me. And like so they'd
Hmm.
gotten out of these this rancher, I don't know if a gate had been left open or what, a rotten fence post that can happen. It fell down and these three cows were on the road. There was one on the left, one on the right, and one right in front of us. So what I'm getting at is there was no way we were going to avoid hitting a cow. And I remember my
Quite literally.
quite literally I was like, "Oh,
Like it would have been one of them.
yeah, and Google a Volkswagen EOS, guys. It is not a big car. It's like a little smaller than a Jetta. It's like if a Jetta and a Beetle had a baby, it's like a small
Hmm.
car.
Yep.
And I was just kind of like, but I didn't panic. It was like I had this like very clear thinking moment where I was like, weirdly, I remember my dad saying, if you're gonna hit and if you see an animal on the road, and of course he's talking about like deer or smaller, like he's not talking about a cow.
The biggest cow you ever seen in your
it was
life.
it just
We're
it
not talking about that.
fully grown, fully grown. It was
Oh,
wild.
yes.
And I was like, oh no. But yeah, I do remember my dad giving me, he always gave us like powder puff mechanics or like little driving tips. And he's like,
Mhm.
if you see an animal, you don't swerve. That's how people die. You die if you
Yep.
swerve. If you hit it head on, you have the best chance of surviving. So I was like,
Yep.
okay. I just weirdly, it was like his voice just beamed into my head, just hit it. I was like, okay.
Hmm.
So we were
Yep.
probably going 70 miles an hour, which my parents act like that was egregious or something. I mean, it was literally like a 65 or a 60-mile an hour
Hmm.
zone, which like, okay, was I
Hmm.
slightly speeding? Yes, but like again, everybody out there's going like 100. It's like an Autobahn
I think
basically.
we were over it too. We're like, we have been driving all day long. We dealt
Jordan's
with
gonna
that
pee her
breeder.
pants.
I'm going to pee my pants. It's not going to be good. So
Yeah,
let's just move
it
it.
was crazy. Yeah, so I'm again, you get setting the mood here. It's pitch black. The acoustic version of Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood is playing. And it's like the creepy piano part, it's like it just stopped all of a
Oh,
sudden. And I was like,
yes.
oh my God. And then we make impact. We hit this cow. And because I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm just gonna. And then I also remember, it's funny what comes through your head. But I remember sitting there being like, okay, you have to relax. Like, don't tense up because that's how injuries happen. Right. So I'm just sitting.
Oh.
Yeah, like that's why they say drunk drivers almost never actually die in the accidents because they're so relaxed compared to like
Oh, see,
yeah.
this is new for me.
Oh,
Wow.
well, spirit must have helped you through that either way. So
Yeah, I would say so. Holy
like
cow.
I don't know, like it's almost like this crazy like bubble of protection came around you and me though.
Yes.
Like because if you remember the just everything shattered. Absolutely every piece of glass on
Hmm.
the vehicle shattered. And but it didn't just
Hmm.
shatter. It wasn't like jagged. It was like powdery. Like I know they're meant to do that, but it was just like powdery and it was almost like it went around this force field or something around us. It
Hmm.
was just
Hmm.
nuts. It was black and dark and like sparks were flying And
Mhm.
I mean, like, what I don't know. That's kind of how I saw it. It felt like we flew forever, for freaking ever. How about you?
See, and I was the opposite. I was the complete opposite of you. It was,
Interesting.
I remember, and like, we went over the hill. I remember I saw it and I said, okay, this is happening. And I remember, like I said, my voice cracked and I said your name. And then I must have like tucked my head down because
Mm,
I was kind of bracing. And it happened like that for me.
yeah. Oh,
I didn't
interesting.
even feel it. It was it felt very slow. It's so weird because it's like it felt very slow. It felt like it almost didn't happen.
Hmm.
It's one of those, I don't know if our listeners have ever like been in a car accident, but it's that like you don't really feel it, but then the aftermath happens and it's like all in your face. And I think
Hmm.
that's why when it happened, I got so frantic and I was like, we need to get out of the car now because if the car is going to blow up, like we need to go.
I do remember that. That was
Yes.
actually really funny. And I thank you for the humor in that moment because I really needed that to like kind of get my wits about me. Because yeah,
Mhm.
so basically what had happened was we hit the cow so hard that it flew over the car. Like it literally moved
Yes.
the top part back so far that you couldn't open the trunk, but it turns
Mhm.
out speeding actually saved us a little bit in this sense,
Yeah.
because we were going fast enough
Mhm.
that the cow, this 1 ton animal, flew over us and it was on the
Mhm.
road, killed immediately on impact. Like I didn't have anything to do with the cow. I was told that its bones were gelatinous after the fact, though. That's how hard we hit it. It was like a gelatin animal. It was disgusting. I'm so sorry if that's offensive to anybody that's listening, but
Mhm.
horrific.
Yeah.
I remember there was some like maybe some cow poop on me. Absolutely no cuts. Absolutely
Mm.
nothing though. And we'd gone about a quarter mile from the point we impacted the cow, I would say, to where we
Mhm.
finally ended up in a ditch though, not on a drop off.
Mhm.
Again, we were
Yeah.
it
Yep.
was crazy. And we had no way of getting light or anything. So I couldn't find my phone.
Mhm.
But I'm sitting there and I kind of take a second to evaluate what the F just happened. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
you realize you're alive. And then you're like, oh my God, but I have my best friend here with me and I have a puppy and I'm
Yeah.
not hearing either
Mhm.
one of them right now. And then it's like, oh my God.
Mhm.
And I started screaming your name. I'm like, Jordan, Jordan, oh my God.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you were kind of delayed, but then you were like, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I was like, oh my God, thank
Mhm.
God. I was like, oh my God, wait, the puppy though. We're like, oh my God, puppy's dead. Puppy is not
Because
breathing.
I remember hearing your name, or not your name. I remember you calling my name, and then I think we hugged, and you were
Yes.
like, "I'm so glad you're okay. Like I'm so glad you're okay." It was almost like you were not thinking about you; you were thinking about me, and then we both look at each other and we're like, Angus. Like his name
Yeah.
wasn't Angus until
He didn't
after
have a
this all
name yet,
happened,
but yeah, fun fact, he got named
but yeah,
Angus after this.
yeah, so we were like, oh my god. And I just remember opening the door and he's back there in the same spot that he
Hmm.
was.
Yeah,
Like
and I
he
remember
didn't
he was like
move.
sparkly because he had glass all over him, but he
Yes,
was okay,
yes.
like completely unharmed. This animal, this poor
Yep,
like 9 week old puppy, like
yep,
baby.
yep.
And yeah, I just remember being like, oh my God. And like you had an immediate right? You had an immediate no, no,
Immediate.
no, no, no. You were delayed.
Was
You
it?
thank God. Yeah, believe it or not, you were the delayed panic attack because it wasn't until my
I
parents got there.
was.
It
Yes,
was literally
yes,
like we subconsciously knew that we couldn't both just lose our shit at the same time.
yes. Yeah. No, and
And
it just the way that we both are just the way I've gotten to know our friendship is like the way we handle anxiety and panic
it's
is
yin
like
and
the
yang.
perfect sync.
Hmm.
Yes.
Every time it's like, if one is kind of down, the other one's up and vice versa.
Mhm,
So, yeah,
mhm.
thankfully, I had this panic moment where I'm just like, I mean, the gravity of what just happened hits you. Your car
Yes.
is absolutely destroyed. And and you just cannot fathom like people die in less than this. People die in less
Mhm.
things than this, but here we are walking. I'm gonna tattle on Jordan. She peed her pants. That's probably the worst thing that
Yeah.
happened.
I told y'all I had to go and I didn't even feel it, which is probably a good thing because it's that
Yeah.
like there's no shame there. It's just it happened.
It was
But
so funny. You were wearing these like very like
oh my
candy
god, like
neon orange like leggings.
just
and,
atrocious.
and then
Like capri neon
and you didn't
orange
even know. I actually
leggings.
had to point it out. I was like, Jordan, you peed your pants. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just had to say that because it was so, you didn't even know. You're just like, oh my God. Like,
No,
what just
I had no
happened?
clue.
I know that's just how like shocking it was. Like, we've literally, someone has peed their pants and doesn't even realize it. Like, it
Yeah,
was that, like, oh my God.
literally.
The puppy was okay though. Everything was
Yep.
good.
I didn't scratch. You didn't have a scratch. Like, and I remember your panic was setting in, and then I was like, okay, let me see where my phone is. Just let me just like, I'll just see if we have service. Because
Well,
like
yeah,
we said,
because here's the other thing, audience, that we had a challenge with. Again, we're 20 miles from civilization with
yep.
traditionally no cell phone service, and our car has just blown up, so we don't have a light even to like even use to try to find stuff. Oh, the before you find the cell phone, Jordan at first was like, "Run away, the car's gonna blow up."
No, I don't know if I've
Right up.
watched too much action films or anything, but it's like my gut instinct was get out. We need to run.
I
I don't
know.
know what's gonna happen.
I'm in the middle of a full panic attack meltdown, like, oh my God. And then I had to stop myself. I'm like, Jordan, no, this car is not gonna blow up. There's no electrical anything happening that will not happen. So she's like, oh, okay, good, good. So
Like, okay, crisis averted. We're good. On to the next thing. I'm very
yeah,
in a panic. I'm very like, okay, what's the next step? Let's make the next thing happen.
totally, totally. And I will point out too, as well, is that your side had been impacted for more than mine. So that's where it was crazy that like
Mm,
you were scooched back so far.
yeah.
Because had you been up where my seat was, you might not have been okay.
Yeah.
It was just again
Mm-hmm.
one of those crazy things of like, oh, the dog almost fell down on the drive, so we made that
Mm-hmm.
adjustment. It ended up saving your life, right? And
Yeah.
well, we had our seat belts on too, of course, like always do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
um
Yes, please wear your seatbelt. Just
please just wear your
always.
seat belts.
Yeah.
I got an award for surviving. Well, Jordan did too, but she had to accept
Mm-hmm.
it from remotely. But literally,
Uh-huh.
you guys, it was so bad that the state of Nebraska evaluated this accident, and it was
Mm-hmm.
deemed so unsurvivable that they gave us an award called the Seatbelt Survivor Award.
Mm-hmm.
That I have a picture of me receiving that award with my dog. It was the next spring they gave it,
Oh.
or maybe later that year. I don't remember. Sometime in the next year after that. Yeah, they literally evaluated it. They're like, we almost never get to give these out because people like don't
Mm-hmm.
survive these types of accidents. But they said it'd been like 5 years or something since they'd given one out. But yeah, state of
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska literally gave us an award, the Seatbelt Survivor Award, for like just living, let alone the fact
Yeah.
that we were fine. Like,
I know.
I'm not exaggerating when I say like not a cut, hardly a bruise. Like my chest kind of hurt from the airbag.
Yeah,
That
like
was
up
it.
here. But
Yeah.
did we even have bruising?
I think you
I
had one on your heel or something.
It was like a random.
Random. Yeah. Like
Mm-hmm.
my shirt that I had like kind of some like shreds in it, like from tiny little
Mm-hmm.
pieces of glass, but no, literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say there was nothing wrong with me. Absolutely, everything
No.
was in
Mm-mm.
perfect condition. Like they thought they needed to call the whole like ambulance, fireman
Yeah.
squad. They
Yep.
actually took the call at the police station, which I'm getting ahead of myself here, but they took the call at the police station as
Mm-hmm.
non-emergency because they're like, oh, no injuries. So he took his sweet ass time
Yeah.
getting out there. This statey, this
Mm-hmm.
cop, and we were already home by the time they went to the scene of the accident. So that was crazy.
Oh
But anyway,
gosh.
so you found your phone though, miracle,
Yeah.
in a miracle.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find mine because it was
I
like
just
plugged
I
in.
remember like and I have chills because it's like I know we both have processed through this, but it's
Mhm.
almost like when you're on the other side of it, and that's why we can laugh and we can, like,
Mhm.
this is so absurd. Like, how did this
Yes.
even happen?
Yeah.
But in that moment, like, I imagine myself like, I'm like, okay, I need to get my phone. I know that it probably fell like
Mhm.
low. And so I'm digging like underneath the console and there it is. And I pull it and it's like this one spot that I stand in and check my phone. We have full service. We have
Which again,
full
normally it's in like
bars
SOS mode, like nothing.
the whole
I
the whole time. SOS mode.
Yeah, and I knew my dad's phone number by heart, of course, so I was able
Mm-hmm.
to call him.
Yep.
Well, I called their landline. They had a landline. They actually
Mm-hmm.
still might. I don't know. I was like, I know how to call them because my dad, he was expecting us home by that time, and we hadn't. He's
Yes.
actually just about to call us, like, "Where are you?" So,
Mm-hmm.
I literally, you gave me like a pep talk because I was sobbing. You're like, Audra,
Yeah.
you have to hold it together. You can't freak out. You just got to tell your dad where we are and like what you need. And I
Mhm.
was like, okay. So I get on the, you were like, you were an excellent coach in that moment, by the way. You were like,
So
start the
glad.
conversation off by saying everything is fine, but
Because I couldn't imagine being a parent in that moment. And I remember how calm your dad was. Like he was
Mhm,
almost like, okay, I
mhm,
know where you're at. I will
mhm,
be there. And
mhm.
it's
Well, there's
it's
only
almost like,
luckily one way to get where we were, so you couldn't miss
yeah,
us.
yeah. Jim and I had this like telepathic, like, okay, we need to keep her calm. And then Jordan can completely lose it once they
I
get there.
literally. Well, have you seen Anchorman before with
Like
Will
bits
Ferrell?
and pieces. I have to admit, I'm one of those people, like, I just haven't watched the
I
whole thing.
I probably have watched the whole thing. There's only like literally one scene that stands out to me
Mhm,
because it's like how I sob when I'm like lost it. I haven't cried like this in a while,
mhm,
but at this time I did. There's a scene where he has this puppy that gets like comically, it's not like tragic, comically thrown over a bridge, and the dog's name is Baxter.
uh-huh,
And he's like, Baxter, blah, blah. Like he's trying to talk and he's just like melting down.
mhm.
That was like me. Literally, I
Yeah.
call my dad and I'm like, Dad, everything's fine. But we hit a cow in the butt. Like
Mhm,
he's like,
mhm.
oh my God, what? And then the first thing he asked me is like, is the car drivable? And I'm like, is the car drivable?
Like, it is beyond
To
not
say the
drivable.
least, no. Like
Mhm. Like,
this thing will be
Jim,
lucky it gets
no.
scrap metal off of it. Like, oh my God. It was actually so comical actually. I just remember being that he had no idea the accident, like because here I am alive talking to him. Like I just
Right.
remember thinking how absurd of a question is that? Is it
Yeah.
drivable? No.
Mhm, mhm,
Absolutely not. So that was crazy. But yeah, basically I had to pass the phone off to Jordan because I was like, I can't do
mhm,
this. You need to tell him more details.
mhm,
But I just wanted him to know from me we're okay. Like we're
mhm.
almost home, but not quite. And I mean, I feel like they got there really fast.
It feels like the more I think back about it, and it's not that it's unprocessed, but it's almost like, we forget bits and pieces. And
Yeah.
it was like, it's like a, you have the film pieces of like, okay, it now clicks to this. That's what it felt
Hmm.
like. It was like,
Hmm.
it immediately clicked to your parents were there, the
Yep.
suburban, like or whatever kind of expedition, whatever it was. And
There's my dad
they were
literally with
there.
a push broom on the highway, like cleaning glass
Just,
off of
just,
the
just
highway.
Jim's getting after it.
My
Like
dad
we're in the back.
single-handedly, in an adrenaline rush, grabbed this. I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say 1 ton. It was probably 1,500 pounds. Whoa, like it's
Mhm,
not small either way. But he
mhm.
single-handedly by himself, I think. Or did he have help? I think he was by himself. He
I think
literally
it was
moved the
him.
cow off the road, you guys. Like he was just like, oh my God, my
Mhm, mhm. But he
adrenaline is
went
just
into
crazy.
dad mode
Oh
of
yeah,
like, I need to clean this up while, mom gets them situated and whatever needs to be done.
absolutely. It was just it was so crazy
Ah,
because yeah, I mean,
jarring.
like we were already like in a crazy state, like right, like oh my
Mhm.
God, we almost just died. I do distinctly remember, no hate on my mom, but I do distinctly remember my mom basically being like, hey, you need to calm down a little bit, like you're alive. And I'm like,
I
mom,
remember that too. And I'm like,
like
I feel
mom,
awkward because
literally.
here's the first time I'm meeting your mom and dad.
Oh, was
And
it really the
then
first time you met
I,
them?
I think so.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Well,
I
what a way
think
to
so.
meet
And
them.
then here's your new puppy. Like it was a weird situation. My normal social anxiety and I want to impress these people was like I'm having a full blown panic attack
Yeah,
and I'm just meeting these people and what are they going to think about me? It's just everything is swirling.
it was crazy. And I do remember magically you must have kept your anxiety, and well, you had an ad hoc, like not like a daily anxiety medicine,
Mhm,
but you had one like for
mhm.
really bad panic attacks that you just happened to
Ooh,
have on
yes.
you, because we actually like weren't
Mhm,
able to open the trunk because of the impact on the car. I
mhm.
remember. So like, but luckily you'd had an anxiety pill that you were able to take in the car and like
Yes.
calm down.
Thank gosh,
So I was like
honestly.
breathing through it, doing fine finally, like literally and almost an hour later.
Mhm.
And then you had this delayed
I'm
onset of like,
I'm
oh my God. It was like
Like
devastating.
I am in shock of like this actually happened and how did I like navigate through all of this?
Yeah, yeah, totally. It was just a lot. It was crazy. And you get to see people like really in their like natural state of like how you handle
Yeah.
crisis, right? Like it was crazy. Like
Right.
my mom is very much in like calm down everybody, let's downplay this mode of like and no
Mhm.
fault of her own. It was just kind of like one of those I don't know what else to do. Oh my God, this is terrifying. But yeah, I think we made an effort well we held the puppy and we were standing in front of the car as my parents come up because we didn't want them to like see the car first because we knew that would be shocking. I remember
Yes.
that. But yeah, so anyway, we had to go back home. Cops went and looked at the car. Apparently, they couldn't believe what they saw. They were absolutely
Mhm.
shocked and they came
I'm
to
not gonna like I hate to interrupt you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I ever looked back at the vehicle.
oh, you
Like
didn't?
I don't know if it was a like my brain and body did not allow me to look back at
Maybe.
it, but the only time that I saw anything was the pictures because I
Mm.
don't know if it was a I can't bring myself to look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you probably were blocking yourself off because yeah, I mean like I'll see the pictures and that's one thing, but I just it was just crazy. I mean, there's just cow hair and cow poop and blood and
Yeah.
none of it was ours though,
And
thankfully.
I didn't see any of it.
And
Saw none of it.
so we had to give a statement to the police. I remember drawing a
Mhm.
very horrible picture of a cow in like my car.
Mhm.
Like you have to draw a picture of it. And I'm like, I don't know how to
Yes.
put this. But that was just the craziest thing. And but Jordan and I went on and had a good spring break. Like we
We I
we went
mean
to the
to be
Black
fair,
Hills. Yeah,
it was good.
yeah,
Like
like we that was the beginning of what I'll say. I was kind of like pushing it away. We were like, no.
oh.
Because one note I wanted to make on this was like how I felt about everything after the fact was like once I kind of like I feel like you and I like kind of partied a lot that week. Like I remember the
Mhm.
next day we
Mhm.
went to like a party. Somebody had like we were christening like a new barn because that's what people do where I'm from.
Yes, yes, yep.
And
I
there was like
remember
a
that.
barn party and like you and I were just like, oh, it's fine, everything's good, we almost just died yesterday, ha ha ha. Like no, it's not. Like
Yeah.
we were making fun of the situation. It was just kind of one of those things where like yeah, you have to address it. Like I literally
Mhm.
almost died yesterday, but I'm good, so why stay home and like
Like
miserable, right? So
here I am like line dancing and swing dancing with some random cowboy that I don't know, but it's are we avoiding it? Absolutely. It
absolutely,
just felt bigger than ourselves. Like
it
I
was.
can't it's untouchable.
It was like, and again, just to have, but not even have a scrape or a bruise or anything. Like
Mhm.
it just, people would hear what happened, think that we were playing it up, and then you'd show them a picture of it. And then they're like, oh my God, what? Like even they couldn't
Yeah.
comprehend. It was crazy. So I guess, yeah, I'll just say like after I kind of like went back to college because I had to get a new car. And actually
Mhm.
I feel like I just cyclically closed that chapter of my life because we sold that car that I replaced that one with just a
Yes.
couple months ago. Yeah, we got it sold.
The
And
Honda.
the Honda, yep. I went from like it was my I was allowed to still get a coupe because I was like, I can't
Yeah.
switch from a little convertible to a four-door Accord.
Mhm.
Like I was just
Uh-huh.
that was the bigger emotion I was having at the time, which is ridiculous.
Mhm.
Was like, oh, I lost my
Mhm.
car. I loved that car, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was I did finally just sell that car. Like that literally just happened a couple months ago. So it was like, okay, that chapter's gone in my life.
Goodness. Oh.
Hondas are great cars. No, they do not sponsor me, but they I'm just putting that out there. You want a good, reliable car, Honda Accord.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I will say when I got back to college, I didn't feel relieved. I didn't feel grateful. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like this pep in my step.
No.
It was more so like,
No.
why did I get saved? Like, why didn't I die?
Mhm.
Like it was, and now I like Jordan was just saying a minute ago, I look back on it with so much gratitude for what that taught me and what we went through that like it does
Mhm.
bring me to tears in a different way. It brings me to tears of just like I was kind of writing up notes for this episode of things I wanted to make sure we hit on and crying as I was writing them out because I'm just like it's just amazing like the lessons I've learned from this and like I can look how it happened for us now. But at the time I was very depressed. I didn't understand like why didn't I die? And I
Mhm.
just I didn't feel relieved about anything. If anything, I was just more
Mhm.
confused. I was like what am I being saved for? Like what's the point of this? Which
Sure.
sounds really horrible to like say it that way. I don't want anybody listening thinking like I'm fully beyond that now, by the way. I'm just being
Mhm.
honest with where I was at. I really
Yeah.
was not grateful for my life at that time. I was just very confused and
Mhm.
like why then, as I'm putting things together, there's more details that kind of come out. I remember weirdly in a way, even though I wasn't feeling grateful, it was the moment I knew that God existed because
Mhm.
and I always felt that way. You grow up Catholic, like you're not allowed to like question if God exists.
Oh,
But
no way.
no, we don't do that, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have like experiences in your life to like really see
Mhm.
that. And I, for my Catholic confirmation, when I was like a, late teens or whatever, I remember I got this visor clip of Saint Michael, who's the protector, on my visor for that car. And I did put it on there. I didn't think anything of it, but I'm like, oh yeah, I got blessed by a priest. Let's
Y-
slap that on there. And
yeah.
when my dad went to go recover our belongings from the car, he wouldn't allow us to go with him because he just didn't want us to re-traumatize ourselves.
Hmm.
He was very
Which
adamant
shout
about that.
out because
Hmm.
thank you. Yeah.
But he was even shocked so much that he took a picture of this was that my car visor was gone in a field somewhere. And
Mhm.
this St. Michael clip had fallen like just on the floor of where my feet would have been like on the driver's side. And he looked in because he had his flashlight like going through stuff and he said he saw this shiny thing glimmering at him and it was that visor
Mhm.
clip. And
Nuts.
like just crazy like that survived but not like the visor it was sitting on, like it was super weird.
Mhm.
And that's something that literally I thought about like almost every day for like 5 years after that
Mhm.
was the fact that that visor clip just like survived randomly. But
Yeah.
it was the significance of it is like Saint Michael's the protector. And then in spiritual
Mhm.
terms, if you're going to get into deep meditation and you want to make sure you're connecting to like the highest frequencies of love and light, you call in Archangel Michael to like,
Mhm.
protect you and like keep you in like speaking with only good things that have best intentions for you. So it's like how this Michael is saying archangel, however you want to put it. There's
Mhm.
similarities between the two and the two senses, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Um, Essentially, it was just like how Archangel Michael has just been like so there for me, so like protective of me,
Mhm.
even in times you don't even have to like understand it for the love of the universe to be there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it took me a really long time to understand that. But it's really beautiful because
Same.
like you literally don't go until it's your time. Like
Mhm.
if you are living and breathing and listening to this podcast right now, I'm speaking to
Mhm.
you. I'm speaking to everybody else that is talking or
Mhm.
living and breathing right now. Is like if you are still alive right now, there's a reason for that. You literally could close your eyes and never wake up again, and that can happen for no reason. But we all have a reason to be here, so it's time to start living your life. You know what I mean? Like take advantage.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
and again, I wasn't even grateful for the experience at the time, and I'm still.
Me? Oh gosh, no.
It was the beginning of an awakening, right?
Honestly, the way you describe like feeling just it's like that unknown. Like I
Hmm.
don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know what this was for me. Like it took a few years to actually be able to reflect on it and say
Same.
there's something bigger out there than us that like
Hmm.
there were forces greater than us that were protecting us in that moment
Hmm.
and there is a reason that I was protected from death because
Hmm. It
holy
seems
cow.
like it was in such an absurd way too. Like we could have totally like broken a bone and like been fine after that. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
something could have happened, but the fact it was almost the universe putting it so in our face that like here you are so
Yep.
divinely protected that you can walk away from this without even a scratch. It was just so absurd in that way,
Oh,
you know? So, and the puppy surviving, Angus, he's an old man
yeah.
today. We still have him. My parents still have Angus. He's an old man now, but we still have him. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's like funny. I feel like I'm kind of going into like a new phase of life even after that stuff. And so it's
Mhm.
kind of like, oh, as his life is kind of sunsetting, it feels like a new phase is starting anew for me. So it's just funny. Speaking of awakenings, it's like you start to really notice the patterns and stuff. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
but Anyway, yeah, so no, after that, candidly, and Jordan, you can speak on your experience too, but
Mhm,
I literally started like partying most days after
mhm,
class. Like I never ever went to skipped class. I never went to class like drunk or anything
mhm.
like that. But I lived in a fun downtown apartment and you didn't live that far from me and you could walk walk over
So
anytime.
fun. Oh,
It
but
was
yeah.
fun. But I feel like I just like numbed my pain with like
Mhm.
drinking with my
Yeah.
friends.
It was
And
new day, clockwork, drinking. I mean,
yeah.
sure, we would be creative and like, oh, it's luau night or, whatever,
Yeah.
the
I
typical
made
college
cups out of
person.
pineapples. Like
Yeah.
I mean, was that fun? Yes, but like
Uh-huh. But it shows that we were coping in a way that just was not healthy. And
it was
I
complete
do want
chaos.
to I want to give ourselves in that moment grace because that's all we knew. We didn't know, okay, touching this moment is incredibly traumatic, and so what are we going to do? We're going to do what we know best, especially in
Mhm.
2015 era. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
mental health is
especially
up and coming, but it's
yeah,
not like, I need to do EMDR, I need to process through this. Like, yep.
everybody will tell you too, like, well, you survived, so don't dwell on it. And it's like, whoa.
I
Do you know the immense
know.
amount of processing I needed to do from that? Like, it's
Mhm,
almost, I mean, it's almost more traumatizing in a sense, like mentally, to have nothing happen to you. And like, I maybe traumatizing isn't the right word, but it's there's something about it where you're just like, okay, I guess I'm not allowed to process that at all because I'm fine, right? And then you just move on in your life and you're just
mhm.
like, hold on, no, that was very significant. That was a really big deal. Like,
That's a mentality of like, okay, pick yourself up, you're fine, like
yeah,
get back to work,
I mean,
productivity.
exactly. Productivity, yeah, we didn't really get, we
Mhm.
had like, our little spring break like for the week, but that was it. So I don't know. And I don't know, have you like gone through, would you say like an additional spiritual awakening since then, or do you just kind of feel like it's been a slow uptick since then?
I think I've had two. Like,
Yeah.
if I can be very, very honest, I think that was the moment where I started questioning of like,
Yes.
why us, the spiel I gave earlier. But then
And the
my
drinking
second one
pushed it
was,
aside for a moment.
yes. And it's kind of crazy how the two for me are connected. Is, my first one was this accident which then prolonged some drinking, and
Hmm.
then my second one was when I quit drinking, and it was a
Mm.
like, the last time I remember drinking, like I had a big ol' wake up in the face moment, that I will not get into, but it's like, okay, like it hits you, and it strips you, and it's like, Jordan, there are things that we need to start looking at here.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because it's like, so they say drinking alcohol is like a frequency. Well, we all know alcohol is a depressant, right? That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm,
It brings you down to like a more depressive state, medically speaking. But spiritually speaking, it lowers your frequency. Like, so if you want
mm-hmm,
to be like your best version of yourself, most enlightened version of yourself, you want your
mm-hmm,
frequency to be as high as possible because that's the frequency of love and light and all the best, all
mm-hmm,
the divine support. So when you're in a constant state or near constant state of like, oh, we're drinking and partying and doing this stuff, like it's
mm-hmm.
almost like spirit like can't get through to you. So
Yeah.
when it needs to, or you can't listen to your intuition as good, we'll just say.
Mm-hmm,
So it's funny, like you had quit drinking and like you haven't drank since then because that doesn't, jive with your lifestyle, right? Like that's just
mm-hmm,
something you're not
mm-hmm,
going
mm-hmm.
back to. I had and it was like post COVID. Like I wasn't
Okay.
like near alcoholic by any means. I think a lot of us
Sure.
had
Yeah.
nothing to do but like I
Oh,
guess I'll
yeah.
just drink some wine tonight. I don't know. We can't go anywhere. We're stuck in like my husband and I were in a one bedroom apartment, like nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Give
just
me this
like
$10 bottle of Trader Joe's wine.
yeah.
Like, why
Well, no, I
not?
live in Utah, so you had to go to the liquor store to buy it. Like
Oh.
only the state liquor stores. It's pretty weird out here, but yeah. Maybe it would have been worse if I was back in Nebraska. No. But yeah, I just remember being like, this is like literally all we can do because we can't go anywhere and like just being like over it. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And
Yeah.
I actually had like an incident where I was sleepwalking, but I know it was like alcohol alcohol induced. And
Yeah.
because like sometimes I would get weird dreams. And again, it
Mhm.
wasn't like I wasn't drinking every day or near every day, like nothing like that. It was just I noticed when I did have some, some wine or something like that, I would like at that time like kind of apparently I was having some sleepwalking problems. And I didn't know that till I fell in my when I was sleepwalking and I ended up cracking an elbow and my foot. Like because I fell because I was sleepwalking. And like I woke up and I'm like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And I realized, "Oh,
Oh
that's
my
when like
goodness.
like Cody was like, "You've done this like a couple times or you've been sleepwalking." I'm like,
Mm.
"Why didn't you tell me that? Oh my God." And I because I'd never
Mhm.
felt like that was and again, it wasn't like I was even having a drinking problem at the time. Like I was just like apparently when I did, I was sleepwalking. I didn't know that. So anyway, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is stupid. So
Mhm.
I quit
Mhm.
drinking for about a year and a half, and then I got pregnant with my daughter, and so that continued obviously on after that.
Mhm.
And so it was a little over 2 years where I went like not drinking at all, and that almost was like enough of a break for my frequency. I swear to God, for my frequency to
Mhm.
get good and high enough that I could like having then the birth of my daughter was that second awakening and it was like,
Mhm.
oh, now I'm like ready for all of this and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've had like drinks since then, but it's not the same thing. It's very much a very controlled like I don't like partying's just not part of my life anymore. Like I just
Yeah.
you kind of like some people like you go from college to like adult life and it's just kind of the lines are
Mhm.
blurred or whatever. It was like I needed like a clean break to now it's just kind of like oh like I mean this is not something that I do anymore. I'm not like that. So
Mhm.
it's a very different experience now, you could say. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody in college like probably drinks a little bit too much. So I'm not gonna be hard on myself with that.
In Nebraska. I
Yeah,
mean,
Nebraska. That's what you literally. I always joked when we lived out there that like the the nicest changing tables for your babies were in breweries.
okay.
Like
Yes.
not even like the restaurants or the kid places.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
breweries. So
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's how we be over here.
there's a lot of drinking that happens out there. So anyway, it's a very normal
Oh,
part of the culture. And again, one of those social things that I had to like break myself from of just like, oh, this is just what
absolutely.
people do. It's like, no, I don't need to be doing that. Like even every weekend. Like just because it's Saturday
Mhm.
doesn't mean you have to have a drink. That's stupid. So
Right.
anyway, it really, yeah, it was like a very interesting time where like, yeah, it was almost like spirit could finally get through to me of like, okay, your
Mhm.
frequencies are clean, they're clear. And then it's been like nothing but upside since then of like, well, I mean, I kind of went through another depression that I've
Yeah.
talked about on this podcast, but yeah, on the other side, it's like, oh man, thank God something got
Well,
through
and
to me
it's
finally.
like I just I mean, I don't know if you want to keep this on here, blurt it, but like Audra channeled recently for me and my dad came through and like did he show you like the car accident
Oh
or
yeah.
like
So
what?
yeah, more recently. So I by the way, I don't like channel passed on loved ones. That's not normal for me. Like I
Mhm.
have a very strong connection with the spirit as far as like speaking to my spirit guides and like doing I
Mhm.
started with a lot of automatic writing and now it's kind of like I can sit and like receive information, right? But
Mhm.
Jordan had never done that before and I'm like, well, what a shame. We got to teach you how to speak to your spirit guides.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's
We
go.
can't have that. And I'm willing to help, anybody who wants to learn how to do that because it's our divine right on this planet to like receive that guidance. Like we're all supposed to have that. So anyway, yeah, Jordan, like felt like a male energy come through and I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know if this is your spirit guide or who this is, but yeah, it was her dad. Well, she intuitively picked that up and then I was like, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
it's her dad. And yeah, I remember it was like kind of like a flash, like almost like you're re-examining a memory in your head and
Mhm.
a flash of like going back to the car accident and I distinctly remember seeing like a golden bubble around me or where the driver's side was like which would have been like
Mhm.
my divine protection but then there was like this greenish bubble around her what army green almost which her dad was in
Mhm.
the military so it's like that kind of
Mhm.
resounded with me in that way like this green bubble around her and I was like
Yeah.
oh and I could recognize in that moment it was like oh it's like her dad is trying to say like I was there for you during a car accident like I
Mhm.
so anyway that's how
Mhm.
I interpreted it but yeah
Yeah.
it was so crazy.
Yeah, and it's how it ties all of this together of like that was our first step into, understanding that there's more.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, like I've had a few psychics on this show, and it's like it's not as taboo as like pop culture has
Mm-hmm.
tried to make it seem. And if you've ever had a psychic tell you that like they're the only one who can do this or whatever. It's like they're lying to you. We literally can all do,
Mm-hmm.
like, we can all channel. We can all like receive that information. It's our birthright. Like that's why it's like once you do awaken, you kind of go through
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You can like intentionally strengthen those muscles
Mm-hmm.
and learn how to more clearly receive information. So it's just kind of like it's the very beginning of like the rest of your life,
Mm-hmm.
really, once these things happen
Mm-hmm.
to you or for you,
Yeah.
happen for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very adamant about that. It's like, even at
Uh-huh.
the time, right, with this car accident, you're like, oh my God, this look what happened to me over spring break. But it's like, no, now it's like I said, I was crying these tears of like gratitude of like, I'm so glad that that happened because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one likes to go through stuff like that, but you
Yeah.
just see like the whole point of like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like why like if you can't go through something and then like see the point in it, like it really is pointless. Now I'm like looking
Mm-hmm.
back, I'm like, had that never happened, I don't know what would have gotten my attention like at some
Yeah.
point. Like that was
Truly.
that was crazy. So like I mean when you look back now, I mean what does that moment mean to
Mm-hmm.
you?
When I look back, it just really, the thing that stands out the most is I'm made for more. It is a moment of, there is a reason that we didn't get more hurt. There's a reason that, you know, it happened to almost open my eyes. And you actually said something at the beginning of the podcast, and it was like, we are conditioned in fear.
Hmm.
And that was something that was like consuming me, was fear and just anxiety, and like holding myself back from going on trips,
Hmm.
just not letting myself do the things that I truly want, because it's always that, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And I look back at that moment now, and it's a, Jordan, you are meant to do so many things. Like, please take this opportunity and these times on earth to
Hmm.
do what your soul is meant to do.
Not only are you meant to do things, you can do anything you desire to do too, which I think a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people forget or not
Hmm.
forget. Actually, technically, yeah, we all come here and we forget what our soul came here to do
Hmm.
because that's
Yeah.
the awakening is part of the journey of like being on this
Hmm.
planet. And you can either embrace it and become the best version of yourself and literally get
Hmm.
everything on this earth that you desire and what you're meant to do kind of in both sides of that,
Hmm.
or you can like shut down and push it away and just like never see the light and just kind of go through life
Hmm.
trudging through. It's like you can live life on easy mode or hard mode. Which one are you
Yeah.
going to choose?
Yes.
Like we all have to
Yeah,
live life.
absolutely.
Which one are you going to pick? So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And they say that there's only really two frequencies, that's love and fear. You can either be and every emotion and anything that happens is a derivative of either one of those. So
Hmm.
every feeling that you have, it's either you can connect it directly up to love or you can connect it directly up to fear. So I mean, they
Hmm.
say like not to make like fear-based decisions, make your decisions based in love and like whatever
Hmm.
derivative of that. So yeah, that's part of living in alignment is starting
Yeah.
to make your choices based out of love and not fear, because being plugged into fear, that's what low frequencies want you to do. That's what they
Hmm.
want. And like do better than that, because it's once
That
you figure out
exactly.
you can get out of that, it's like, oh my God, what have I
Yes.
been so scared of all my life?
Yes.
Like we're
Yeah.
so divinely loved and protected. And again, if this story didn't like kind of make that more real to anybody listening,
Mhm.
it's like I hope it did now, because we didn't ask
Yeah.
for any of that. We weren't even in like a good place. Like we just
Mm-mm.
spirit
Mm-mm.
was like, time to wake up, girls. Like what are
Yes.
you doing with your
Yeah.
life? So
Get outside of yourself.
mhm.
Like,
And don't think too, again, like kind of full circle, what I really want this episode where I want it to land is like you don't even have to like if you kind of miss your train, so to speak, on like that first
mhm.
awakening, spirit will find a way to do it again.
Oh,
Like when you're ready.
rattle you.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, it's you're always exactly where you're supposed to be in life,
Mm-hmm.
exactly where you're supposed to be. You never miss any opportunities. It's just like if you quote miss an opportunity, it'll just, reappear in a different form at a different point in time when you're
Mm-hmm.
ready for it, right? So yeah, it's just kind of like take some pressure off. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
like get it all right away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It really
So
does. And it's like literally Forrest Gump. Like, just go with the flow. Like, let things
literally
happen to you as they're supposed to.
flow state. Yes, yes.
Flow
So
state. Hashtag flow state.
flow state all the way. And I mean, and there's going to be days where you dip too. It's like, it's just all part of the
Oh,
journey. Like the good
totally.
comes with the bad. That just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean like, oh,
Mhm.
this wasn't supposed to be the way it is. It's like, no, it's unfortunately just part of living on this 3D planet that we live on. There's like
Yep.
good. And then there's like not so good days that you're going to have. And they all lend a hand to each other. Like you can't appreciate the light without the dark, right? So,
Mhm.
if everything was just easy and handed to us all the time, like what would be the point of that? Like the human
Mhm.
experience is both beautiful and chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But trust me, when you like decide to fully awaken and you go through your process of purging through your ego and all the traumas and darkness that
Mhm.
you have in your heart and in your soul, um and you deal with that and you like come out on the other side stronger, life is so much better. I can attest to
Mhm.
that. Like I've never been more
Mhm.
grateful to live right now than or sorry, I've never been more grateful to be alive than I am right now,
Yeah.
and every day
Yeah.
I'm more grateful, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that same way. Like, I
Hmm.
just every day it's, and you're right. There are some days that we're gonna be like, I don't want to do a thing today. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's fine.
couldn't pay me to do anything. But it's a, okay, is my body telling me to rest? Like, what is the bigger picture here? But it's also
Exactly.
just like, how lucky are we to have this human experience and like learn and grow every single day? It's just
Absolutely.
great.
I mean, and to think too, it's like not everybody is like on this planet to like come up with something crazy like the cure for cancer or solar energy. Like
Mhm.
some of us are here literally to just be like enjoying life and being kind to people and spreading light
Yeah.
and just being happy so that other people, because it's ripple effect. Like you help one
Mhm.
person feel better, they're going to help maybe another person feel better. It just ripples out. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like wherever you're at, like don't feel like you're not doing enough. It's like you're
Mhm.
perfectly placed exactly where you're supposed to be. So
Yeah.
so
Yes.
in all, to kind of close this out, it's like, yeah, you're not if you're feeling like nothing's going right and you're just
Mhm.
processing traumas and old things and it's you're not broken, you're probably just
Yeah.
awakening. Or maybe
Mhm.
going through a part B, like there's part A
Mhm.
and part B of this process. Maybe you have a C and a D and
Mhm.
et cetera. But no, it's like everybody's on their own journey and everybody's life looks very different from each other. But we can all come
Yeah.
to the same goal, which is awakening and becoming the best
Yes.
version of ourselves. So it's great. But anyway, well, Jordan, thank you for like, bearing all today and talking more about this like crazy experience that we had together because I think it's a really good demonstration of like just how non-linear and kind of ugly these things can be, but really it's all just part of the human experience, right? So
Yes. Yeah. No, thanks for having me. I'm so glad that we can talk about this and maybe help somebody else that's just like, why are these things happening to me right now?
exactly. I know. It's yeah, that's my whole goal is it's like, you know what? You don't go through something unless you're meant to like kind of maybe help somebody else through the same exact thing.
Mhm.
So you never
Yeah.
know. But anyway, all right, Jordan. Well, I love you so much. Thank you for being
Love
here
you too.
today. And to all my
Yes.
listeners, thank you so much for listening. And as always, have a beautiful rest of your week and we'll see you next time. Bye.